university to spoon feed you as they do in India. Companies have sort of hesitated to hire international students. I got a reject from UCLA and UT Austin. They gave me a significant amount of scholarship. I also got an assistantship along with the scholarship. People don't interact with their professors enough, at least in the beginning of the course. You do well in your courses, people are watching. So they are going to contact you for tutorship. Purdue has a record of taking in the most number of Indian students every year. I'm returning to India permanently. Even though I have offers here, I'm going back to India. Teaching and the course content, everything here is slightly overrated.
Hi guys, welcome to College Dunia Study Abroad. This is Varun, and today we have Vishal Chakravarthi. Vishal is pursuing his master's in business analytics and information management from Purdue University. Hi Vishal.
Hi Varun.
Hi Vishal, can you introduce a bit about you to our viewers and also talk a bit about your background?
Sure. So I'm Vishal, and currently I'm pursuing my master's in analytics and information management from Purdue University. So before I came to Purdue, I worked for a couple of years as a data scientist, 1 year in an IT services startup and 1 year in a healthcare company. I also have another PG degree from IIIT Bangalore, a postgraduate diploma in data science. So yeah, that's about my background.
That's nice. So Vishal, like as you mentioned, you have already done a master's degree. So what made you decide to pursue a second master's?
So since my first PG was sort of during COVID, the entire thing was online. In fact, originally also it was supposed to be a blend. It wasn't a full-time degree.
Okay.
So it was completely online, and that didn't really give me a university sort of exposure to me. And I never felt like during my bachelor's, I never felt like I belonged in my bachelor's. So I never sort of had that full university experience. I also felt like I sort of missed out on that. So I wanted to get that experience, and of course this degree was sort of a refreshment for me, like relearned all the data science concepts, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So a couple of reasons.
I think that those make some significant reasons for you to decide for masters, I guess.
Yeah.
So which all universities did you apply for?
I applied to Duke. I applied to a mix of data science and analytics programs. So I applied to Duke, Vanderbilt, UT Austin, University of Minnesota, Purdue, and I also applied to UCLA.
Oh, interesting. So how many admits did you get?
So UCLA, I got a reject from UCLA and UT Austin, and I got an admit from all the other universities. So
that's nice. Congrats on that. So why did you choose Purdue? Like, is there any specific reason, or like were you looking for something while choosing university?
To be honest, I mean, most universities more or less the course content was very similar, not that different. But Purdue is like, it was really affordable, and they gave me a significant amount of scholarship.
Okay.
And apart from that, I also got an assistantship along with a scholarship.
Okay, that's
huge. Yeah, so I was able to recover 50% of what I put in by choosing Purdue. So I think that was one of the main factor for me to choose Purdue. Okay. I also, of course, the in-campus opportunities in Purdue were like really good, is what I had heard, and it is quite true. So that was also one of the factors.
That's nice. We'll definitely get back to those points. Those are something to discuss on elaborated word. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you were obviously applying for this masters, you must have written GRE or IELTS or TOEFL, right?
Yeah, I did GRE.
Can I know what all you have what all exams you have given and those scores?
Sure, I gave GRE and TOEFL. In GRE, I got a 330, 168 quant and 162 verbal. In TOEFL, I got a 112.
Those are some commendable scores. Like, that's great. So I mean, like 330 is like probably you would have gotten admit in almost any university you wanted.
No, but still, UT Austin and UCLA rejected me. I think
That's
nowadays it's more of they look at it an application in a holistic point of view, I guess. Of course, my CGPA in undergrad wasn't that great, so I mean that also plays a significant role.
You know, what was your CGPA during your undergrad?
7.7, 7.8, something around that.
Yeah, I used to think that 7.5 is a decent enough grade for to get out of a university. But okay,
Yeah,
this
but I think like
continue.
top universities they expect you to have an 8.59, I guess. But I mean, if I didn't have a good GRE score, then I'm pretty sure even the universities that accepted me might not have. So that was a good sort of.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I think it's a valid reason. Like, so obviously, GRE has some weightage, but not a significant weightage, I guess.
Yeah.
That's true. So, like, how did you manage your SOP and like LORs? Like, were they professional or academic? Can you talk a bit about them?
So I didn't really take any service as such for my SOPs and LORs. I'm a very confident writer,
Okay.
so I chose to write them on my own.
Mhm.
So what do you want me to talk about? Like the content that went into the
Yeah,
SOPs and.
maybe a little bit on like a section wise, what were you talking about in your SOP, just to have
Okay, sure.
yeah, like what to write in SOP.
I think the mistake that most people make when writing an SOP is they make it too boring. Like you gotta understand that someone else is reading your SOP, and for you to gain admission or for the reader to gain interest in you, you need to sort of create that interest. Like an SOP isn't just an essay you write in an exam. It's like a story about you. Make it an interesting story. Like it's okay even if you come up with like maybe like one line a day or a couple of sentences a day. Start early, start like 3 months, 4 months early. Come up with a few lines every day and
Yeah,
keep revamping your lines, your paragraphs.
yeah,
Make it like a story. How did you start? Why did you start? And where do you see yourself and what do you bring to the table? I think this much, if you can like pack all of this into maybe a page or page and a half, you will be good to go. This is about the SOPs. Of course, talking about the LORs, so when you're, uh, so I would suggest you request your recommender to focus on how unique you are.
okay.
Like, I mean, of course, points like, okay, he or she is a great student, and in class he or she was great. I mean, those are points that everyone writes. But what makes you unique? What do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
So, just ask your recommender to focus on those kinds of things.
Those are some really good advices. I mean, they help a lot for sure. So, were your LORs like professional or academic? Like, how
I
did
had
it?
one academic and one professional. So,
So, two were enough for you for the universities.
yes.
That's nice. I used to assume that at least three or four are always needed, but okay. So, whatever universities did you applied for, they needed only two LORs. That's it.
I think a couple of them needed three. So I had only one academic LOR, and I had like 3, 4 from my professional circle.
Professional. Oh,
So
that's nice. So, can you talk a bit about your course structure, like how it is, number of credits, or like the courses?
the my course in particular, I mean, in Purdue, it's a rigorous course, 36 credits in a span of 11 months. So usually you see 30 credits or 33 credits in 2 years for a, a regular MS program. But for this, in 11 months, they cover 36 credits. So it's a pretty rigorous program. The course it's a pretty flexible program. So you of course there are some core courses, like maybe like 4 or 5 core courses. So 36 credits, you can choose up to like 15 to 18 subjects when you
On
have
your
36
okay.
credits.
Elective.
Yeah, so I mean, 4 or 5 are core subjects, and you have the option of like 10 to 12 different electives across like maybe 40, 50 different
Got
courses
it.
that are available. So it depends. Like, so people who want to get into, for example, a business consultant sort of a role, they have the option of taking core business courses like financial analytics, marketing analytics, and
Okay.
operations, supply chain analytics, and stuff like that. For people who are looking for data scientist roles, there are core data science courses like unstructured data analysis and the time series analysis,
Yes.
deep learning, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think that's the good part about this particular course. It's what you make of it.
Okay. That's nice. That's actually like a wonderful course, I feel. And when you mention 11 months, you mean by fall, spring, and summer all together, right?
So yeah, it starts in June, summer.
Okay.
So June and July, then August, fall starts from August, and
Yes.
then spring starts in January, and so in May the course ends.
Okay. So you're about to graduate next month then?
Yeah, about less than a month to go.
Yeah, that's nice. Then we have more to talk. So, so yeah, you were mentioning that the fee structure was the primary reason for you to choose Purdue, right? So, can I know what's the fee structure and what was the scholarship you got, and how you
Oh, so the fee, last year the fee was around $50,000,
Okay.
and I was offered a scholarship of 10,000, so that's like 20%.
Yes.
I covered like 20% there, and assistantship it's based on your hourly work, so
Availability, yeah.
hourly availability. So I think through assistantships, and I also, after I came here, I did tutoring work. I did some part-time data scientist work on campus and stuff.
Oh,
So easily I was able to make around 15,000 at least through those part-time things. So
okay, that's
overall,
good.
if you look at it, out of 50,000, 25,000, I sort of recovered that amount.
Okay, that's a good amount actually. That's a really good amount. Like technically, like almost 50% of
Yeah.
session you got. Okay, so like I know you told you got the assistantship, right? So for you, you were lucky you got offered before the admit. But generally, how are the opportunities for
So it
TA?
was not before the admit. So first the admit
No, I
comes.
mean like before, as in like before you
Oh,
started your course.
yeah. So what was your question, Varun?
So how are the teaching assistantships and research assistantship opportunities in your
You
university?
connect with the professors. I think that's the biggest part. So people are mostly focused on connecting with their peers, which is very important. I mean, of course, but I think people don't interact with their professors enough, at least in the beginning of the course and stuff. But I was fixated upon the fact that I want to start working immediately.
Yeah,
I didn't want to waste any time. It's a 11-month course.
yeah.
So as soon as possible, I networked with the professors, and there will be some sort of interviews. It's also on what sort of a relationship you build with a professor pretty quickly. You
Yeah.
have only a few days, so you sort of try to vibe with the professor, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, and of course, have a good resume. I was across the 11 months, I was the tutor for three subjects: Python programming, SQL,
Yes.
management, that is management of organizational data, and big data analytics.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
these three, and I was the tutor for inferential statistics.
Okay.
So
Pretty much covered most of the core data science subjects.
yeah, and also one more important factor is I landed the tutorship position because I scored well in my inferential statistics class. So
Okay.
even that plays a role. So you do well in your courses, people are watching. So they are going to contact you for tutorship roles. Not only in Purdue, but across any other
Sure.
university.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, you were working all these part-time jobs. What was the average salary? I know each job has a different salary. So like what were the salaries that you were earning on an average, like a ballpark
Uh,
per hour?
the teaching assistantship pays $15 per hour. The tutorship pays $17 per hour, and
That's kind of interesting here. Like it raises a question. Like I thought teaching assistantships have higher pays and higher
so
money.
in West Lafayette, it's a very affordable place. So here across all departments, that is the standard fixed rate. But I also work as a data scientist within a computing lab in Purdue, and that pays $25 per hour.
Oh, okay.
So most
Kept
on
growing.
yeah, exactly. So I started off with 15, then tutorship went to 17, and now at 25. So I mean, of course, there is a luck played a role as well. I mean, I was identified, thankfully, but it also plays on. It depends on you, right? How lucky you get, how
Yeah.
hard you work, and
Yeah.
how you get yourself to be noticed.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's totally agreed. That networking and trying to showcase your skills matters a lot, at least in this current generation right now. Like the whole, I would say, LinkedIn generation, where you have to showcase.
right. Right. I mean, more than networking, I feel the jobs that you already do build that trust in your role. So if a professor, so let's say you land a teaching assistant position, if a
Mhm.
professor if a professor chooses you for that position, make sure you go out of your skin to do your work. Don't wait for the professor to tell you what to do.
Yes.
So my professor decided to continue with me for the entire academic year.
Okay.
So
That's how
like
it
see,
works.
after having me initially for the summer
Yeah.
for the first 2 months. So I'm pretty sure that she had a lot of other options,
Okay.
but she chose to go ahead with me because she felt comfortable with me.
Yes.
So it's like loyalty sort of a
Yeah.
thing. Stay loyal to your role, and things will just follow up. And the successive positions that I also got were because she recommended me.
Yep.
So
And
that's
that
how it works.
networking matters a lot here, especially in the US. So yeah, so let's talk about like the future prospects of your course. Since you are
Sure.
graduating, you should be knowing about this a lot, and how the university helps you in finding a full-time job.
So like in India we have placements and stuff, but of course in the US we don't really have the
Yes.
concept of placements. There are career fairs, but more recently, of course, companies have sort of hesitated to hire international students.
A
Uh,
lot.
the current scenario also it isn't looking that good, but I wouldn't say it is impossible. So the one of the part-time data scientist jobs I do within university that got converted into a full-time role. They gave me a full-time offer for that.
That's nice.
So those are some ways in which you can sort of convert your part-time opportunity to a full-time opportunity. Otherwise, also I wouldn't say it is difficult. See, the university can only do so much.
Yeah.
Like that's how things work in the US. Like you
Yes.
cannot expect your university to spoon feed you as they do in India, right?
Yes.
So it's like you're on your own, which is good in one way and not that great in another way.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't say it's impossible. Just stay on your feet all the time. Keep messaging people, keep applying. If you see an application, don't if you see an opening, don't take it lightly. Apply immediately, because be the first one to apply. Be the first one in the first 10 to apply. Don't wait for 200 people to apply. Make
Yes.
your resume noticed, make your application noticed. So that's one tip that I can give, and that's the only thing that's in your hand, right?
Yep. That's true.
Nothing else
That's
is in
true.
your hand.
Yeah.
So
So what do you think is the probability of finding a full-time job given the current scenario? You got lucky, you got an offer. That's good. Congratulations on that. But
thank you.
in general, like looking at your peers, like what is the probability of finding a full-time job from after graduating in your course? Before this situation and now? Tell me both.
So before the situation, it's been consistently 100%.
Okay.
In fact, for our course, companies used to come for it was like a placement kind of a thing
Yeah.
until 2023, of course. But in 2023, no companies really came like that. I think one company named Axtria came and they like took around 10-15 people.
Okay.
So that's a decent number.
That's
So
given the situation. Yeah.
yeah, so apart from that, no company really came in, but until this point, it's been 100% placements, and so that's until now. It was a great thing. Now I think, uh, again, as I said, it depends on how you what you make of it. So there are opportunities out there.
The efforts you put in, that's what.
Yeah, the efforts you put in, your skills. Like, don't just randomly keep applying to jobs. Of course, send in 100 applications a day. Like, of course, you are supposed to do that, but prepare for your interviews.
Okay.
Spend hours together preparing for your interviews. That is more important rather than just sending applications, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I hope like in the future things get settled down. But yeah, if things like this come up, I guess that's the best solution you can give, I guess. So what are the average salaries, that you can expect once you graduate from your course?
So I think for someone with less than 3 years of experience, around a base package of 110.
110. Okay, that's a
Okay.
number.
For someone with more than 3 years, they are getting like 120 to 140K packages.
Okay, that's nice.
Uh,
That's interesting.
and with someone with like more than 5 up to 150, it's going. So package wise, of course, it's a pretty attractive course,
Yeah.
data science and analytics
Yes.
currently.
That's true. That's actually true because 110 is a great number. But it's a six figure. So that's enough. That statement is enough, I guess. So you mentioned like one of those companies that generally frequently come to hire students. So are there any other companies that commonly hire that you want to mention?
I think the previous years there were companies like Tiger Analytics, I think Amazon. For now, only these two are at the top of my head.
Okay, no
But
problem.
yeah,
Those are still good companies.
yeah. So, but this year we didn't have those companies. Of course, Amazon laid off
Very
tons
bad.
of
Yeah.
employees. So Amazon didn't really hire this time from our course. Tiger Analytics also didn't come, but Axtria, that was a new company that sort of hired from our course this
Okay,
time.
that's nice. So I would like to ask, like, what was your first impression when you first landed in US and went to your university?
That's it was a flurry of emotions, right?
Yeah.
So that's a difficult question to answer. It wasn't just one emotion; it was a lot of emotions. For me, my parents accompanied me.
Oh, okay. That's
So
nice.
yeah, in fact, this is not my first time in the US. I was here for 8 years, so my entire childhood was in the US. Until
Right.
fifth, I was in the US.
Okay.
So it was not a new place for me. I was very familiar with the United States as a country.
Yeah.
So I think, but even though that familiarity was there, I was going to stay away from my family for the first time. So I think I wasn't sure how that was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the main, I wouldn't say worries, but I I didn't know how that would be. I think that was my main thing.
It's like mixed emotion, nervousness, and then excitement.
Yeah, yeah, I was excited because I was going to start something new roommates and new friends and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's nice. So, how's the Indian community at Purdue, and how's the diversity in terms of Indians and the other country people?
So there are tons of Indians at Purdue. Like, maybe I would say you see more Indians than any other people. Especially the apartment I live in, it's just Indians.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
and
What's the name of the apartment?
launch apartments.
Okay.
And in my course, I think like 70% are Indians.
Okay.
So in fact, Purdue is known to take in like it's a record. Purdue has a record of taking in the most number of Indian students every year.
Okay, that's
So yeah, I mean, you won't. In terms of that, it's not going to be difficult. So
yeah, that's nice. That's interesting actually. So I think because like most of the computer courses are always taken up by us Indians or the basically Asians. That's what I would say.
yeah.
But yeah, but it's a big number. As you explained, 70% is a lot. And let's talk about like your living situation. Like, where do you live? Do you live near to the university or far from the university?
So it's a 20-minute walk for me.
Okay.
Launch apartments, as I said. There's a direct bus, but it's you don't want to depend on the bus because it's pretty irregular.
Okay.
but it's a 20-minute walk. So so if you want to go and come, it's a good 40-minute walk, good exercise for you as well.
Yeah.
So I walk every day. At least that's the least exercise that I can get.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's important.
That's nice. So, and how are you managing your expenses? Like, I know you have a part-time, so like, what is the rent and like, what are the expenses?
So see, for me, I don't spend a lot of money unnecessarily. So I hardly eat outside. I cook every day at home. I bring the groceries. I cook every day at home. The rent is I pay about $550 per month.
Okay, and you
Uh,
shared the room or
yeah, I have two roommates.
okay,
So I think excluding the utilities and everything, it's 1,400 or 1,500. So divided by three plus the utilities and
okay,
water, electricity, and all those things. So to me, it adds up to $550. And apart from that, the groceries and everything else, I spend maybe around $250 per month. So
okay,
overall, I spend around $800
okay,
per month. But if I need to talk about the average, like how like average person would
yeah,
probably spend around 1,000. So
one
if
thousand
you are
dollars. The
someone
ballpark
who,
number, you would say.
yeah, if you are someone who would eat outside often, and sort of go out
Yeah,
uh, to some entertainment, like
yes,
maybe movies and stuff like that, then thousand
around.
dollars can be your round figure.
That should be like that's actually a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good number. And yeah, I mean like do you include all the phone bills and internet and everything? That's what you mean.
Yeah. So yeah, I $800. I spend $800, but average maybe 1,000, you can say.
Yeah. And one other question I had, like as you said, three roommates. So is it like a three
Two
bed?
roommates.
Oh, sorry, three of them, like two roommates and you. Is it like a 3 bedroom flat or something you're talking about,
Yeah,
or
it's an apartment. It's a 3-bedroom
apartment?
apartment.
Okay, so each room, one person, and it's 550 per person.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's nice. And if you share, it's gonna go down by half, right?
If you share the rooms, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna go down by half, but the rooms are pretty small.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's sharing.
I think I got your point. Like it won't be like a small rooms. Like are they furnished or like
No, it's not at all furnished.
okay,
So
okay. So like as you mentioned, there were different poor like times you earned a different set of money. Right now, what are you earning per month?
1,500 per month.
1,500. Okay, that's a good number. And then you will be getting turned into full time in the same job.
Yeah, but I'm returning to India permanently. Even though I have offers here, I'm going back to India.
Oh, you're going back? Like
Yeah.
as soon as you graduate, you're going
Yeah,
back.
I'm leaving in like 25 days.
Is there any reason for this? Now, this will be an interesting topic. Like,
Yeah,
why are you leaving right after your graduation? Any particular reason?
I mean, I just want to be closer to my family and my extended family. So
Okay.
I think that's the main reason.
Okay. Then,
So
then there's nothing catchy over there in that.
yeah,
Your
see, I mean, people come here to like, I guess, make money,
Mm,
or like maybe stay here for a few years, like make enough money and go back.
yeah.
But I think for me that isn't really important personally.
Yeah.
So I value relationships a lot more than that. So I think my family is more important to me, I guess. So that's
That's,
why I'm going back.
that's really nice. So yeah, can you share like one of a good experience and a bad experience you had till now that you might remember that you
So
take with you to India?
sure. So there are a couple of things that I would like to talk about. The first one is the one thing that I learned from here. See, of course, if you look at, okay, I feel that things like the teaching and the course content, everything here is slightly overrated. It's not really that different from India. The teaching is almost same. Of course, the sort of practical exposure that you get is different. You do a lot of things practically. In India, it's more theoretical.
Yeah.
That is there, but teaching wise, I don't see that much of a difference. From India, like. So the professors are equally knowledgeable in India. We have some great professors in India.
Yeah.
So that is not that different. But and so even the course content wise, of course, today with most of it is self-study, right?
Yes.
Today. So
Yes.
that is always there. Like no matter what the course content is, you end up spending most of your time on self-study and doing your assignments and stuff like that. So I think for me the biggest takeaway was I learned how to take care of myself.
Being independent, I
I
guess.
learned how to cook 3 meals a day. I cooked, cleaned, did all my assignments, and still did my part-time jobs, all at the same time. And just understanding that okay, as a person, you're capable of doing these things on your own, alone, all alone in a different country. I think that's the takeaway for me. And point number two, I feel like when I was in India, I took a lot of things for granted. I used to take my family, friends for granted, but when you come here, you realize
The
okay,
value, right?
the value of it. So, you know, taking that back to India and now, having the opportunity to sort of give back, that is more important to me. Okay, all these days you took from other people, now it's your time to go and give back. So those are the things. But otherwise, of course, the exposure that I've got, the part-time opportunities that I've got, of course, in India, part-time work is it's not prevalent at all. And
Yeah.
the kind of roles that I did here, like the kind of projects that I worked on as a part-time data scientist, and the relationships that I built with my professors and my managers, I think that's gonna stay for a long time. So who knows, in the future, maybe you never know, right?
Yes.
So I think that's the good thing that I take away. Of course, the bad thing is it's hard. It's hard staying away from your family with new surroundings. You need to keep a count on how much you're spending every day, every moment. You spend an extra couple of bucks, you feel bad about it. In India, you can get a dosa or idli for 30 rupees, 40 rupees. Here, that's going to cost you $15.
That's when
So
you keep account on that and you keep.
yeah, so like no one's gonna spend $15, especially when we're studying, right? Okay, when you're earning, that's a different thing. But when we're studying, no one spends $15. So you feel bad about it that you cannot spend the money, but still you feel bad. Okay, you cannot get that dosa or idli here.
Yeah,
So these little things add up, I feel. But
that's
of
true.
course, there's a positive side to it as well. You learn how to do it on your own. I learned how to make dosa on my own. So
Yeah. That's what you have the urge to have it and you can't spend that money. That's when you start working on it and get it on your own.
exactly. And now when I go back, I'm happy that I can help my mother, I can help my parents in the kitchen.
Yes.
So that's a great thing,
A
right?
new skill that you learned, I guess.
Yeah.
So, any advice for students who are planning to pursue masters in the US or like in your university, let's say?
I think uh, work hard for the entire period. Work, like, to be very honest, I think it's very important to be one of the top in your batches, because you're spending a lot of money and you're leaving a great job and you're coming here. There are no given guarantees for you in the United States. Even the United States doesn't guarantee anything to you. So don't take it for granted. You're spending your money here. Come here and work it out every day. Make sure you learn. It's not just about attending classes and just coming after classes, just having fun. That's not the thing. After your classes, come do your assignments, be honest to yourself, work it out. Make sure you take up part-time opportunities. You will learn a lot out of them, even if you cannot manage. Of course, not everyone will be lucky enough to land a teaching assistantship position or a technical position, right? Maybe 10%, 15% might. The other 85% or 90% might not get an opportunity. But still, there are positions like you can work in dining, or you can work as a cashier. And never look at those jobs as low or
Yeah.
anything. Definitely it's a great experience for you. Even though I worked on multiple jobs. I worked as a dining associate for a couple of months, and of
It
course
actually
it's
builds
not.
your communication, something you learn, I guess. Like, I agree to this point.
Yeah, you will learn something. You will know what's the sweat that goes into that. So, and you will get the earning from that. You can recover some amount at least. Maybe you will make enough money to eat on that day.
Yes.
So yeah, I would say work for 1 year or 2
Never
years.
take things granted, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, eventually once if you work hard, you will see the results. So for those 12 months or 18 months, work it out.
That's some good advice, actually. So, well, yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, and it was really nice talking to you. And also, all the best for your future plans. Like, you had the offer, you're still going to India, and I appreciate it, actually.
Thank you for your time as well, Varun. It was my pleasure sharing my experience.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
कॉलेज दुनिया लेकर आ रहा है इंडियाज बिगेस्ट एजुकेशन फेयर। याद रहे 6th and 7th ऑफ मई। जगह प्रगति मैदान। रजिस्टर करने के लिए कॉल करें नीचे दिए गए नंबर पर या क्लिक करें अप्लाई नाउ बटन पर।